Hello everyone, welcome to Bajirao IAS Academy Current Affairs Analysis session, and this session is specifically for Arunachal Pradesh State Public Service Commission prelims examination. In previous session also we have discussed some important current affairs with respect to Arunachal Pradesh, and in today's session also we have some more important current affairs and all other necessary aspects. So they are important for your upcoming prelims examination. So we have covered Arunachal Pradesh in particular and entire Northeast in general. So we will be discussing all these important topics without any further delay. So the first, we will be discussing about some important national parks and biosphere reserves in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, if you look at the state of Arunachal Pradesh, we all knew that it is part of the Eastern Himalayas. So there are different national parks and biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries are also located in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So one by one, we'll look into all these important protected areas. So the first is Kamlang Tiger Reserve and Wildlife Sanctuary. So we'll get into the details about the Kamlang Tiger Reserve Wildlife Sanctuary. So it is named after the river called Kamlang River, right? So generally Kamlang River passes through this particular tiger reserve or wildlife sanctuary, and because of that reason, so this tiger reserve is also named as Kamlang Tiger Reserve or Wildlife Sanctuary. And in fact, Kamlang Tiger Reserve and Wildlife Sanctuary are located between Lohit River and also Namdapha National Park. So you can see here, this is the Namdapha National Park. So that lies at the Indo-Myanmar border, and you can also see, so this is the Kamlang Tiger Reserve. So north of Namdapha National Park, you can see Kamlang Tiger Reserve in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, what a type of a vegetation that we generally found in Kamlang Tiger Reserve? So the vegetation type is alpine vegetation in upper reaches of the Kamlang Tiger Reserve, and the lower reaches of this tiger reserve is a wet tropical evergreen forest. So a diversity of climate, a diversity of the conditions that have been existing in Kamlang Tiger Reserve makes that the vegetation varies from alpine vegetation to wet tropical evergreen forest. However, when it comes to the major fauna of Kamlang Tiger Reserve, that include Bengal tiger, leopard, clouded leopard, marbled cat, snow leopard, and Asian elephant. So these are the most important fauna of the Kamlang Tiger Reserve, and even there are some non-human primates also, such as capped langur, rhesus macaw, and stub-tailed macaw, Assamese macaw, eastern hello gibbon, and Bengal slow loris. So these are the non-human primates, so primate species, but they are not human beings, and other major type of fauna that we generally found in Kamlang tiger reserve. So when we talk about the questions that may be asked from these type of national parks or other protected areas is that, so they may ask about the vegetation type that we could generally see in these type of protected networks, and very often they also ask questions that which river generally flows through these protected areas. So that is also another question that may be asked from these type of protected areas. For example, if there is any species, any fauna species which is endemic to that particular protected area, national park, wildlife sanctuary, so that may also be asked. So there is a high probability that such type of questions are being asked in your examination. So therefore, it is very important for you to make sure that you note down all those important aspects, because there is a higher chance of asking such questions in the examination. So next is Mauling National Park. So again, Mauling National Park is also in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, the Mauling National Park, if you look at the location of Mauling National Park, so this is where it is located, the west of Kamlang Tiger Reserve. So we have just discussed about the Kamlang Tiger Reserve. So just west of the Kamlang Tiger Reserve, so you can see the Mauling National Park. And in fact, the Mauling named come from a mountain, right? So Mauling Peak. So it is named after a Mauling Peak, and Mauling National Park and Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary are located within Dehang Dibang Biosphere Reserve. So in fact, this is Dehang Dibang Wildlife Biosphere Reserve, and the Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary and Mauling National Park. So Mauling National Park plus Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary are actually part of this Dihang Dibang Biosphere Reserve. Now, generally, Biosphere Reserve is a larger area. It may consist of multiple number of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, right? So, Biosphere Reserve is a larger expression than the other protected areas such as national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. And because of that reason, so both Mauling National Park and this Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary are also forms part of the Hang Dibang Biosphere Reserve. And generally, if you look at the vegetation, so what kind of a vegetation that we generally see in Mauling National Park? So at lower altitudes, so you can find tropical forests, and at a higher altitudes, so you can see moist temperate forest, because a forest type also changes with increasing altitudes, right? So an increasing altitude also alters the conditions that are existing in those respective areas, and because of that reason, so vegetation type also changes with increasing temperatures or increasing altitude as well. So at the lower altitude, what type of a vegetation that we could generally see in Mauling National Park? It is a tropical forest, and in a higher altitudes we can see the moist temperate forest. And what are the major fauna types that we can generally observe in Mauling National Park? So a takin is an animal, so you can see here on this image, so this is what is a takin, right? So you can see takin in Mauling National Park, and we all knew about Indian leopard. So Indian leopard is also commonly found in Mauling National Park, and apart from that, Bengal tiger can also be found in Mauling National Park. And apart from that, another very unique animal, that is barking deer. So you can see on this image, so this deer is known as barking deer, or it is also known as Indian montek. Okay, so Indian montek. So this is also known as a barking deer, and this is also found in Mauling National Park along with Zero and red panda. So these are important animal species that we generally see in Mauling National Park. And next is Namdapha National Park. So we have just discussed about the Mauling National Park and also Kamlang Tiger Reserve in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And just south of Kamlang Tiger Reserve Wildlife Sanctuary, you can also see Namdapha National Park and Tiger Reserve. So this is also a tiger reserve, and at the same time the national park as well. Remember that in UPSC they have asked about this Namdapha National Park and at the same time Pakti Tiger Reserve as well. So because of that reason, so these natural parks and biosphere reserves and even wildlife sanctuaries are very, very important, right? So UPSC very often asking questions that, which river generally flows through this particular national park, and this national park is located in which state. So those kind of questions are generally asked. Okay, so you can see on south of Kamlang Tiger Reserve that we have just discussed. So you can find Namdapha Tiger Reserve, and Namdapha Tiger Reserve is just located on the border of India and Myanmar. So Indo-Myanmar border in the eastern Himalayas in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So you have to remember that. And in fact, Namdapha National Park is located between Dapabam range of Mishmi Hills and Patkai range. So somewhere here you can you can identify the Patkai range as well. Okay, so Patkai range mountains, and in fact, so this Namdapha National Park is located between this Patkai range and also Dafabam range of Mishmi Hills. Right, so there are somewhere here you can also observe the Mishmi Hills as well. Okay, so Mishmi Hills and Patkai Hills. So Patkai Range and Mishmi Range in between. So you can find Namdapha Tiger Reserve, and you need to remember that because this is very, very important. And in fact, this Namdapha National Park or Tiger Reserve crossed by Nova Dihing River. Okay, so Nova Dihing River generally crosses this Namdapha Tiger Reserve. What is the name of the river? Nova Dihing. Okay, so Nova Dihing River generally crosses the Namdapha Tiger Reserve or National Park, and in fact, this Nova Dihing is a tributary of the Brahmaputra River, right? So this is a tributary of Brahmaputra because it would ultimately merge with the Brahmaputra River, and in fact, this Nova Dihing River originates at Chaukan Pass, right? So it originates at Chaukan Pass and it is a tributary of Brahmaputra River, and this Noah Dehing River passes through Namdapha National Park as well. And apart from that, it is the largest protected area in the eastern Himalayan biodiversity. So if you take the entire eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot, Namdapha National Park is one of the largest, or I would say that largest protected area. So, what type of vegetation that we generally see in Namdapha National Park? So, the vegetation is evergreen to temperate broadleaf forest. So, this is the type of a forest that we generally see in Namdapha National Park, right? So, it is evergreen to temperate broadleaf forest. And apart from that, it is the only park in the world to have a four feline species of big cat. So what are those feline species of big cat? So this is very significant with respect to Namdapha National Park, and you need to remember that. Now, if you look at these four feline species of big cat, so one is tiger, and second is leopard, and third is snow leopard, and clouded leopard. So these are four feline species of big cat, and in fact, these four species of big cat found only in the Namdapha National Park in the entire world, and because of that reason, it is very important. So four feline species of big cat: a tiger, snow leopard, leopard, and clouded leopard. So I'm repeating it again. So Namdapha National Park is the only park in the world to have four feline species of big cat, namely tiger, leopard, snow leopard, and clouded leopard. And you can also see this is the location of Namdapha National Park. And apart from that, there are other important and significant aspects which are being associated with Namdapha National Park. Now, what are those significant aspects? So, Namdapha National Park is also famous for a critically endangered Namdapha flying squirrel. Remember, this Namdapha flying squirrel was already asked in UPSC prelims examination as well, and therefore there is also higher chance that this flying squirrel may be asked in your prelims examination as well. So one important aspect with respect to Namdapha flying squirrel is that it is critically endangered. It is categorized as critically endangered in IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. Apart from that, so this Namdapha National Park is known for this flying squirrel. So you can see how this squirrel is flying, and in fact earlier it was missing, right? So flying squirrel was missing, so it was expected that it was believed that flying squirrel went extinct, but Namdafa flying squirrel resurfaces in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and it is also critically endangered because of its low numbers, and at the same time it has also been facing the high threat of extinction, and because of that reason it is critically endangered, and it is endemic to Namdapha National Park. Now, I hope you knew what is endemic. Now, endemic is one particular species is generally found in that particular region alone, right? So there are less chances that the very same species is found in another part of the world, another region of the world, right? So endemic means so that species is found in only that particular region or location. So those species are known as endemic species, and this Namdapha flying squirrel is also an to endemic species. And apart from that, so there are other important fauna species as well in Namdapha National Park, including Asian wild dog, which is also known as dhole, and Malayan sun bear, Indian wolf, Asiatic black bear, red panda, red fox, Asian golden cat, Indian elephant, wild boar, musk deer, hog deer, sambar gaur, takin, and bharal, that is also known as blue sheep. So all these faunal species are found in the Namdapha National Park. Now, apart from that, there are some important primates also that we could generally see in Namdapha National Park. For example, stump-tailed macaw, slow loris, and western hillock gibbon. So western hillock gibbon is the only ape species found in India. So you can see here, so this is a western hillock gibbon. Okay, so this is western hillock gibbon, and this is only ape species found in India, and it is found in Namdapha National Park of Arunachal Pradesh. So that is a significant aspect about this hillock gibbon. So this hillock gibbon was also asked in UPSC prelims as well. And apart from that, capped langur, Assamese macaw, and as well as rhesus macaw. So these are all different fauna species and primates that are generally found in the Namdapha National Park. So by going through all these different species varieties, so we could say that Namdapha National Park is the largest protected area in the eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot because it has a huge diversity. It hosts a wide range of fauna and flora species, and it is also very important because of the Namdapha flying squirrel, and at the same time the western hillock gibbon is also found in Namdapha National Park. This is the only ape species that is found in India. So remember that I have been repeating this multiple times so that you can remember this actually. Okay, so because this is very important. So next is Pakke Tiger Reserve or Pakoi Tiger Reserve. So this was also asked in UPSC prelims examination. So most of these questions are being repeated, are asked. So because of that reason, it is very important. So when we talk about this Pakke Tiger Reserve, it is also located in the state of um, Arunachal Pradesh, right? So most probably this Pakke Tiger Reserve is located in Dafla Hills or on the western part of Arunachal Pradesh near Bhutan. So it lies in the foothills of Eastern Himalayas. So again, it lies in the foothills of Eastern Himalayas, this Pakwai Tiger Reserve. And Pakwai Tiger Reserve is bounded by Kameng River in the west, right? So, for example, imagine that this is Pakke Tiger Reserve. So, to this Pakke Tiger Reserve, it is being bounded by Kameng River on the west. Okay, so Kameng River on the west and north as well. North and west Kameng River bounded this Pakke Tiger Reserve and Pakke River in the east. So, there is another river called Pakke River uh, in the east to this Pakke river. So you can Pakke Tiger. So we can say that the name of Pakke Tiger Reserve comes from the river which is flowing very close to this Pakwai Tiger Reserve. Okay, so Kameng River and Pakke River are surrounded the Pakke Tiger Reserve. However, to the south of this Pakke Tiger Reserve, this sanctuary adjoins Assam's Nameri National Park. Okay, so Assam's Nameri National Park is in the south of Pakke Tiger Reserve, and to the west it is being bounded by Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary and Sessa Orchid Sanctuary. So Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary is again located in the state of Arunachal Pradesh and Sessa Orchid Sanctuary as well. Right, so all these protected areas are located very close to each other, and this Pakai Tiger Reserve is also very well known, or it is very famous for hornbill nest adoption program. Okay, so there is a large scale hornbill nest adoption program is carried out in Pakke Tiger Reserve. Now, what type of a vegetation that we generally see in Pakke Tiger Reserve? So, semi-evergreen or evergreen forest and Himalayan broadleaf forest that we generally see in the Pakke Tiger Reserve, and major reptilian fauna is Assam roofed turtle. So, Assam roofed turtle is found in which of the following protected areas? So this is being found in the Pakwai Tiger Reserve, and this is how Assam roofed turtle generally look like. Okay, so next we'll look into some important tribes in the entire Northeast India. So when we talk about the important tribal, ethnic groups who live in northeastern part of India. So they have a unique characteristics. So it is also very important for us to understand those unique characteristics of different tribal groups, and that also indicates India's unique diversity, right? So India is known for its huge and unique diversity. So therefore, we'll also try to understand those different tribal groups and their important characteristics as well, right? So, firstly, we'll look into the Garo tribe. So that live in the state of Meghalaya. Okay, so Garo, Khasi, Jaintia hills. So I hope you knew about these hills. So they are the hills in the state of Meghalaya. Okay, so this Garo tribe lives in the hills of Meghalaya. So Garo hills of Meghalaya, right? So Garo people are a Tibeto-Burman ethnic group, right? So they are a Tibeto-Burman ethnic group and they live mostly in the northeastern state of Meghalaya. So they're not just confined to Meghalaya only, because some Garo tribal people are also found in the state of Assam as well, right? But they mostly live in northeastern Indian state of Meghalaya. And in fact, Garos constitute one third of the total population of Meghalaya in the living in the Garo hills. Okay, so they constitute so one third of the total population of Meghalaya. And apart from that, one very important and very significant characteristic feature of this Garo tribe is that so they remind a matrilineal societies. So throughout India, in most of the parts, you could generally see the patrilineal societies, right? The society or the family system centered around the family. But for Garo tribe, the family system is centered around the mother. This is the matrilineal system. So mothers or a woman, the key decision makers in the respective families in Garo tribe. Otherwise, this is not the case in other parts of India, right? So uh, they are one of the tribe, so they are known for practicing this matrilineal form of, or still they are having these matrilineal societies. And in these matrilineal societies, kids take their clan titles from their mothers. For example, in a rest of the India, so generally what happened, you inherit your father's property. So a male child inherits a father's property, and a male child inherits his father's name as well. But for Garo tribe, so the female members of a family, female kids of a family, so they inherit the property, not the male members, but female female children would inherit the property of the parents, and female child also gets the name from her mother. Right, so male child also gets the name from his mother as well. So family's youngest daughter inherits the property from her mother. For example, imagine that a family is having two male members and two female members, and among these two female members, who is the youngest one, right? So A is elder one, B is younger one. So younger female daughter inherits, so here B inherits the property from her mother. However, so sons, both sons, they would leave when the girls or their sister, their sisters attain puberty. So male members of a Garo tribe family, they would just leave the family. Okay, so when their sisters attain the puberty age, so they leave their houses and they stay in bachelor dormitories. Okay, so this is how it is very very unique, right? So generally we don't see such kind of a practices in other parts of India, but in Garo tribe, so we could see such interesting and unique characteristics. So they they leave their homes and they live in bachelor dormitory called Nokpente. Okay, so Nok Pente is a bachelor dormitories that male members of Garo tribe live once uh, you know his sister attains the age of puberty. However, if they are married, if a male son is married, so he would generally live in their wife's house after the marriage. Okay, so you just have to remember this matrilineal society and the matrilineal practice of Garo tribe, and also the bachelor dormitory called Nokpente. Right. So apart from that, so there is also another tribe. So that is Sumi tribe of Nagaland. So in Nagaland, we can also see another important tribe. So that is Sumi tribe. So the Sumi primarily live in central and southern regions of Nagaland. Right. So they live in central and southern regions of Nagaland with their headquarters in Junheboto. So Junheboto is the headquarters of the Sumi tribe of Nagaland. And in fact, the Sumi tribe of Nagaland is also counted among the major ethnic. So there are a lot of ethnic groups in the northeastern part of India. So because of that reason, northeast India is also known as ethnically very sensitive, ethnically very volatile, and even illegal immigration takes place in the northeastern part of India. So that would even result in large scale resentment, violence in northeast India, right? So that is why there are concerns about the illegal immigration from both Bangladesh and Myanmar. So this Sumi tribe is counted among the major ethnic groups, and Sumis belong to Junheboto district and Dimapur district in the state of Nagaland. However, their headquarter is Junheboto. And in fact, Sumis used to be one of Nagaland's head hunting tribes. Right? So they were also head hunting tribes before the arrival of Christian missionaries into Northeast or into Nagaland. So before that, they were head hunting tribes, and in fact, a very few of them among the Sumi tribe so practice animism. So animism is a form of a primitive religion that is being practiced by different ethnic groups in the northeastern part of India, and the tribe has two primitive festivals. So one festival is Tuluni, so that is celebrated on July 8, and Ahuna, so that is celebrated on November 14th. So both Tuluni and Ahuna are two festivals which are being celebrated by this Sumi tribe. So apart from that, the Sumi have traditional knowledge. So traditional knowledge, and they could even predict the weather conditions, right? So whether it would rain tomorrow or whether it would be sunny tomorrow. So they could actually predict with their their pre-existing traditional knowledge. So they use ecological indicators that help them predict the weather. So this is a very important. So there may be a question that which of the following tribal groups could predict the weather using their pre-existing traditional knowledge using ecological indicators. So that's how questions are being asked. And in fact, for example, the Sumi tribe, they believe that if a red weaver ants, so they leave their nets open and facing up, it means no rain is coming. So this is how uh, they take important cues from the nature. They use nature as the indicator to predict weather. So this is the existing traditional knowledge that has been passed on from one generation to another generation. So this is about the Sumi tribe. So that lives in the state of Nagaland. And next is Kuki tribe in the state of Northeast. Now remember that this Kuki tribe is in news. So this Kuki tribe is in news because of the violence, instability that has been taking place in the state of Manipur between Meitei and Kuki communities. So Kuki is a tribe, so that is also seen or found in the state of Manipur. So we'll try to understand some details with respect to the Kuki tribe as well. So the men in the tribe wear colorful sangkul or jacket and pechwa or a dhobi. So this is generally their attire. So people of Kuki tribes attire looks similar to this. And in fact, women of Kuki tribe are heavily ornamented. That you could see here on this image that a woman of Kuki tribe are heavily ornamented. They have earrings. You can see the earrings. They have earrings. They have bracelets, bangles, necklaces all the time, right? So that's why it is said that they are heavily ornamented. And apart from that, a Chin people of Myanmar. So in Myanmar also there is an ethnic group called Chin people. Okay, so Chin group of people. So Chin people of Myanmar and Mizo people of Mizoram. Mizo people of Mizoram are related to tribes of Kukis. So they are related to both Chin people of Myanmar and Mizo people of Mizoram. So they belong to Kukis, right? So you have to remember this. And in fact, collectively, Chin people, Mizo people, and also Kukis, so collectively known as Jo people. So they are collectively known as Jo people. So again, I'm repeating this. So, in fact, Chin people, an ethnic group in Myanmar, and Mizo ethnic group in Mizoram, and Kukis in the state of Manipur. So all are together called as Jo people. So collectively called as Jo people. So these are some details with respect to the Kuki tribe. Next is Khasi tribe. So we have discussed about the Garo tribe of Meghalaya. So next is Khasi tribe. So Khasi is also a hill name that we found in the state of Meghalaya, right? So Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia. So these are three different hills. And again, Khasi tribe is also a tribe from the state of Meghalaya. So Khasi tribe is again a major tribal community in Northeast, particularly the state of Meghalaya. And in fact, in the state of Meghalaya, Khasi tribe alone constituting of around half of the total population. Okay, so Khasi tribe alone is half of the total population of Meghalaya, and Khasis mainly live in the Khasi and Jaintia hills, and they also follow the matriarchal society. So what type of a society that they follow? So they follow matriarchal society. So I have explained this matriarchal society during I'm explaining Garo tribe. What is the matriarchal society? So in matriarchal society, so women are the key decision makers in the family, and children inherit the name of their mother. And in fact, children also, particularly the young girl child, inherit the property from her mother. And in fact, so when girl child attains puberty, you know, the male son, so the male members, or not male members, the male children of the family would leave the home and they join the bachelor dormitories in Meghalaya. So, right, that is the matriarchal society. And in Kasi tribe also, we could see this matriarchal society. And in fact, it is very rare to see matriarchal society in different parts of India, but it is quite interesting that we see such a matriarchal society existing in the Kasi tribe as well as the Garo tribe as well. And apart from that, in this Kasi tribe, women play all the major roles, like how in traditional societies in India. So men are dominating. Men play all major roles in the society. So in a similar way, uh, Kasi tribe, women play all major roles and they are also more important than men. So women are more important than men and women get to take all crucial decisions in the tribe. So all crucial decisions are being made by the women themselves in this Kasi tribe, and that's why we could call this Kasi tribe as a matriarchal society. And again, so when we talk about the inheritance of the property, so the youngest daughter in the family, or she is also known as Kakudda. Okay, so she is also known as Kakudda. So she inherits the ancestral property, and in fact, in rich families, so both sons and daughters usually receive a share of property, but normal in general families, so the young daughter of a family inherits the property from her mother. Okay, so the traditional dress that Khasi people generally wear. So the traditional dress is men wear long and sleeveless, collarless coat called jimpong. Okay, so it is called as jimpong, and it is often paired with dhoti and an ornamental waistband as well. And in fact, women wear a crown of silver or gold with a spike or peak on the back. Okay, so this is how their attire generally looks like. But so we could see that there is an elaborate ornamentation as well. And Kasi tribe also celebrate a festival, a 5 day religious festival called Nongkrem in the month of November. So the festival that Kasi tribe celebrate is Nongkrem. So Nongkrem is the festival that Khasi tribe in the state of Meghalaya celebrate in the month of November. So next is a Deori tribe in the state of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. So this Deori tribe that we generally see in the states of both Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. So we'll try to understand some important aspects, characteristic features of this Deori tribe from Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. So the name Deori comes from the Deori river in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, there is a river called Deori River. Okay, so the Deori tribe gets their name after this Deori river in Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, the Deori actually means that Dimochayan. Okay, so Deori means Jimochayan. So that means children of the sun and moon. So here, Deori means children of the sun and moon in their native language. Right? I hope it is clear for you. And apart from that, this Deori tribe primarily resides in Assam's Shiv Sagar. So Assam Shiv Sagar, Jorhat, Dibrugarh, Lakhimpur, Tinsukia districts, and even Arunachal's Lohit and Changlang districts. So in Arunachal's Lohit and Changlang districts, we could see the Deori tribe. And in fact, they belong to Sino-Tibetan family of Mongoloid stock. In old times, they used to serve as priests in the temples, right? So they served as priests in the temples and they belong to Sino-Tibetan family of Mongoloid stock. And apart from that, Diori historically lived in Sadia area and Joidam, Patkai foothills and Upper Brahmaputra Valley. And in fact, this Diori are related to Boros, Morans and Sonowal Kacharis. Okay, so these are a different tribal group in the state of both Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. Next is Apatani tribe in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So this Apatani tribe in the state of Arunachal Pradesh is also one of the important tribes. So we'll also try to understand, some unique features and important aspects about the Apatani tribe in Arunachal Pradesh. So it is one of the most distinctive tribe in Northeast, right? So most distinctive and most unique tribe as well, because these Apatani tribal people live in Jiro Valley, right? So they live in Jiro Valley in lower Subansiri district of Arunachal Pradesh in India. Okay, so this is the place where the Apatani tribe live, and they generally speak English, Hindi languages. Okay, so Apatani tribe also speak Apatani. So they also speak Apatani language, English, and Hindi languages. And in fact, one thing that you need to remember about Apatani tribe that is very important, that is, so their wet rice cultivation. So the wet rice cultivation is very famous and popular because the wet rice cultivation involves a different kind of agriculture systems. They're quite impressive because they integrate nature, they integrate sustainable practices, and because of that reason it is unique and impressive. And because of this reason, UNESCO has proposed to include Apatani Valley as a heritage site, right? So it has proposed to include Apatani tribe in the heritage site because of their unique way of wet rice cultivation, because this Apatani Valley is extremely high productive, and also it is a unique way of preserving ecology by the Apatani tribe, and because of that reason it is very important. So which of the following tribal groups are known for their unique way of wet rice cultivation? So that's how questions are being framed. And Apatanis live in which of the following places, right? So apart from that, Uh, one another interesting aspect about Apatani tribe is that you can recognize them with their distinctive nose piercings and also ornaments, and men with their tattoos. So men are having tattoos and women are having nose piercings and the ornaments. So you can see on this image here, women are having ornamentation, right? So elaborate ornamentation, and you can also see in this image that how a nose piercing is done. Okay, so women have such a unique nose piercings in Apatani tribe that live in Jiro Valley of Arunachal Pradesh. They are very popular and known for their wet rice cultivation. Okay, so next is Adi tribe of Arunachal Pradesh. So we'll also understand what is the significance of this Adi tribe in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And so this Adi tribe is the natives of Arunachal Pradesh. So they are the native people in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and they belong to hills and have their own village, they have their own laws, they have their own council, they have their own customs, traditions, and the practices, right? So in fact, this Adi tribe is also further divided into several sub tribes as well, right? So men of the Adi tribe wear cane, bear, and deer skin helmets, all depending on the region so they belong to. So whatever region that they belong to, whatever sub tribal group that they belong to. So men also wear these different kind of uh, you know attire. And apart from that, women wear dresses as per their age and marital status. Unmarried women wear behope, an ornament which is made up of 5 to 6 brass plates fixed under their petticoat. Okay, so that is be beop that women wear. And in fact, so Adi tribe is also very well known for their hunting skills as well. Right, so these are the different tribal groups from different parts of the northeast, India. Now, there are some UNESCO recognized World Heritage Sites in Northeast India, right? So the recent one is, the Charaideo Moidams in the state of Assam, right? Charaideo Moidams have been recently recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, so in fact, it is India's 43rd World Heritage Site. However, it is the first in cultural world heritage of Northeast India, and that is why it is very, very important. Okay, so this Charai Dio Moidams is the first in the cultural category, cultural world heritage of Northeast India, and this Charai Dio Moidams are like graves or so graves, the grave mounds, right? So they are grave mounds that we generally see in Egypt pyramids. So in a similar way, these charaidiomoidums are also such a grave mounds that we see in that are found in the state of Assam. Okay, so we'll try to understand all UNESCO recognized World Heritage Sites in northeastern part of India. So one by one, right? So the first one is Manas Sanctuary. So firstly, you can see Manas National Park, Manas Sanctuary is located on the western part of Assam. Okay, so western part of Assam, this Manas National Park is located. So this is the location of Manas National Park through which Manas River flows. So Manas National Park is in Assam, and Manas National Park is also known as Manas Wildlife Sanctuary. And in fact, so Manas National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a Project Tiger Reserve, and an Elephant Reserve, and it is also a Biosphere Reserve in the state of Assam. So, I've told you what is a Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so I have explained. So, what is a biosphere reserve? What is a biosphere reserve? So, biosphere reserve is a large protected area. Under the biosphere reserve, there may be number of national parks, there may be number of wildlife sanctuaries, right? So, this is a huge diverse protected area or protected network. So that is known as biosphere reserve. And in fact, this Manas National Park is a biosphere reserve. Apart from that, UNESCO has also recognized it as the World Heritage Site. And in fact, it is also famous for the tigers and also the tiger conservation as well. And Manas National Park is very well known, or it is famous for the endangered wild water buffalo. So wild water buffalo is endangered species as per IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, and Manas National Park is known for the wild water buffalo. Okay. Now, apart from that, Manas National Park has declared a sanctuary on 1st October 1928, and even before independence, Manas has declared a sanctuary, a wildlife sanctuary on 1st October 1928, and it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year 1985. In the year 1985, so it has been declared as the World Heritage Site by UNESCO. So I hope you have understood about the Manas National Park or Wildlife Sanctuary. And next is Majuli Island. So I think all of you knew about this Majuli Island as well. So Majuli Island is also UNESCO World Heritage Site, and this is also a very important. So Majuli Island or Majuli is the biggest inhabited riverine island in the world. So you can see here, so this is the Majuli Island, right? So this is the Majuli Island. So that means a riverine island. So this is a riverine island. So what is generally a riverine island? So riverine island is an island which is being formed by the river. Okay, so the deposition of sediments brought by the river resulted in formation of an island, right? So what is an island? Island is a land surrounded by water on all sides. So therefore, it is a riverine island. That means an island that is formed by the river. Which river? Brahmaputra river. And in fact, it is world's biggest inhabited. That means people are living in this island. Okay, so this is located in the state of Assam in Brahmaputra river. And in fact, it is India's first island district because it has 144 villages with a population of over 1,50,000, right? So it has a population of around 1,50,000 and it is India's first island district. And in fact, one thing that we need to understand about Majuli Island is that so Brahmaputra River, so generally flood prone, right? So Brahmaputra River usually experience floods almost every year. So earlier, Majuli Island was around 1200 square kilometers. So this 1200 square kilometers Majuli Island now left with just 500 square kilometers only because of the frequent erosion by the floods of the Brahmaputra River. And apart from that, the other significant aspect of the Majuli Island is that it is considered as the nerve center of Neo-Vaishnavite culture. Now, what is Vaishnavism? So, Vaishnavism is a sect within Hinduism where people believe in Lord Vishnu. Okay, Vaishnavism is a sect where people worship Lord Vishnu. Shaivism is also a sect in Hinduism where people worship Lord Shiva. So a new Neo Vaishnavism is a new form of Vaishnavite culture. So therefore this Majuli island is the nerve center of new Vaishnavite culture because it has many satras. Okay, so it has many satras. So what are the satras in Neo Vaishnavism? So that means a lot of religious and cultural institutions are hosted by the Majuli Island for Neo Vaishnavism. And in fact, so Majuli Island is also declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site by the UNESCO. Okay, so UNESCO has also declared Majuli Island as the World Heritage Site. So next is Kaziranga National Park. So in Assam, Manas National Park, we have just understood that it is declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site. So similarly, Kaziranga National Park. So this is also a very important national park in the state of Assam. So this has also been recognized as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. And in fact, Kaziranga National Park is situated in the northeastern part of the country in the district of Golaghat and Nagaon districts in the state of Assam. And in fact, Kaziranga National Park and its significant aspect is that it has the single largest undisturbed and representative area in the Brahmaputra Valley floodplain. Kaziranga National Park is in the Brahmaputra Valley floodplain. That means Kaziranga National Park regularly experiences floods of Brahmaputra River. And if you frequently read newspapers, if you read newspapers very often, almost regularly, so you can understand that there are news articles about the flooding in Kaziranga National Park, right? So how floods brought by Brahmaputra River resulted in a havoc for these wild animals in the Kaziranga National Park. So therefore, it is located on the floodplain of Brahmaputra River. However, in the year 1985, similar to the Manas National Park, Kaziranga National Park was also included in the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, so in the year 1985. And in fact, when we talk about the rivers which have been flowing through the Kaziranga National Park, which are flowing very close to Kaziranga National Park, a river called a Defalu River. Okay, so a river called Defalu River. So this Defalu River is a tributary of the Brahmaputra River. And this Defalu rivers flows through the national park area. So both core area and this core area is also known as critical tiger habitat. Now remember that core and buffer distinction has been made uh, for the tiger reserves. Okay, so this distinction has been made for the tiger reserves. So therefore, this Defalu River generally flows through the core or critical tiger area of Kaziranga National Park, and another tributary, that is Moradaplu. Okay, so that is also another tributary of Brahmaputra River. So that is Moradifalu flows along its southern boundary. And in fact, the Kaziranga National Park is inhabited by world's largest population of one-horned rhinoceros as well as many other mammals. So you can see here, this is one-horned rhinoceros, and Kaziranga National Park has the largest number of one-horned rhinoceros in the world, and because of that reason this is very important and very significant. However, the one-horned rhinoceros are also facing various threats such as poaching, hunting, and habitat destruction, and regular and frequent flooding. So all these factors are posing serious threat to the one-horned rhinoceros population in the Kaziranga National Park. So next is Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. So this is also very important, right? So why it is important? So we'll try to understand that as well. So this Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. So remember that I've told you that the biosphere reserve is the larger protected area or larger protected network under which different national parks, wildlife sanctuaries part of. And this Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve, located in the state of Sikkim, is one of the highest ecosystems in the world. Right? So this is one of the highest ecosystems in the world because it reaching an elevations of 1,220 meters above sea level. Okay, so one of the highest biosphere reserves in the world. And in fact, so this biosphere, Kanchenjunga biosphere, has different altitudinal ecosystems. I have just explained that. So whenever there are different altitudes, so different altitudes would result in a diverse ecosystems or diverse vegetation based on the altitude and the climatic conditions. So the altitudinal ecosystems generally vary from subtropic to Arctic, as well as natural forests in different biomes, right? So in fact, the diverse uh, climates, diverse ecosystems would support a rich biodiversity and different forest types, different vegetation types, and a diverse flora and fauna in the Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. And another very important aspect about the Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve is that so it is the world's third highest peak. So Kanchenjunga is world's third highest peak. Okay, so it is situated in the Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. And apart from that, so numerous lakes, glaciers, including 26-kilometer long Jemu Glacier. Now there may be a question that Jemu Glacier is part of which of the following state, is in which of the following state? So Jemu Glacier is part of which of the following biosphere reserve? So there were questions about the Jemu Glacier also in UPSC. So therefore this is very important. So 26-kilometer long Jemu Glacier are part of the biosphere reserve. And Kanchenjunga National Park was designed as UNESCO World Heritage Site recently in the year 2016. So 8 years back, Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve has been designated as the World Heritage Site in the year 2016, and in fact under the mixed category. Okay, so under mixed category, so what is a mixed category? So mixed category means the mixed heritage sites, so they contain the habit elements of both natural as well as the cultural significance. So we have just discussed that moidams, so they are the first to be part of UNESCO World Heritage Site for the cultural reasons. Okay, so moidams in Assam. And apart from that, about the Kanchenjunga, biosphere reserve. So this is India's first mixed world heritage site, right? So you just have to remember this. It is India's first mixed world heritage site on UNESCO World Heritage List. So therefore, so you just have to remember. And apart from that, so there are different biosphere reserves in India. So right from north to southern part of India, so you can see the cold desert biosphere reserve in Himachal Pradesh, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve in the state of Uttarakhand, and that we have recently discussed Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve in the state of Sikkim, and in Arunachal Pradesh, Dihang Valley and Dibru Saikhowa in the state of Assam, Manas in the state of Assam, Nokrik in the state of Meghalaya, right? So these are all biosphere reserves that you can go through it. This is also important for your exam. So next is Kaibul Lamjao National Park in the state of Manipur. So this is also very important, and this is important because of some reasons. One is Pumdis. Pumdis are floating vegetations. Okay. Pumdi. So Pumdi means floating vegetation. Floating, it is very famous for floating vegetation. So you can see on Loktak Lake in Manipur, there is a floating vegetation. Okay, so it is important. This Kaibul Lamjao National Park is important because of this floating vegetation on Loktak Lake. The second reason is that uh, it is the natural habitat of dancing deer, or it is also known as sangai. Okay, so UPSC has asked about the dancing deer, and it has also asked about this floating vegetation multiple times. So because of that reason, it is very important. And what is the IUCN, status? International Union for Conservation of Nature, a red list of species. Its status is endangered species. So endangered in the sense that it is also facing the highest threat of extinction, right? So because the dancing deer that we generally found in the floating vegetation of Loktak Lake in the Kaibul Lamjao National Park is categorized as endangered species. Now, why this Sangai deer is called as dancing deer, right? So, when it venture into this fumdies, so it try to balance on these fumdies, right? So while it is trying to balance on these fumdies, so its movements look like it is dancing, and because of that reason it is known as dancing deer, or its name is sangai, right? So Kaibul Amjau National Park is located in which state? So it is located in the state of Manipur. So you should remember this. And another important aspect about the Kaibul Lamjau National Park is that it is world's only floating national park, right? So this is world's only floating national park. You can also see the houses are built on the floating pumdis, right? So this is world's only floating national park. So it is located in Bishnupur district in the state of Manipur, right? So it is located in Bishnupur district in the state of Manipur, and this Kaibul Lamjao National Park is located in the southwestern part of Loktak Lake. So Loktak Lake is in the state of Manipur, and this Kaibul Lamjao National Park is located southwestern part of this Loktak Lake, which is well known for the biomass called fumdis that I have just discussed about these fumdis. And in fact, so Kaibul Lamjao National Park is also the last natural habitat of endangered brow-antled deer, or it is also known as Dancing Deer of Manipur. Since Manipur is in news very frequently, there may be chance that this question may be repeated, may be asked again. What is the vegetation type that is generally found in Kaibul Namjao National Park? So the vegetation type in the park is that a combination of wetland, terrestrial, as well as aquatic ecosystems. So that is the vegetation type that we found in the Kaibul Lamjao National Park. Next is Charaideo moidums, right? So Charaideo moidums in the state of Assam, and recently they have been given the UNESCO World Heritage Site in the cultural category. So in the cultural category of UNESCO World Heritage Site, so Charaideo moidums are the you know only thing that is included in the UNESCO World Heritage Site from the northeastern part of India. So we'll try to understand about this Charaideo moidums as well. So where is the location of Charaideo moidums? So they are located on the foothills of Patkai ranges in eastern Assam. And in fact, so they are also known as Royal Necropolis. So this Charaideo is home to the Royal Necropolis. And in fact, this Charaideo moidums belong to Thai Ahom dynasty from 13th century to the 19th century. And in fact, this Charaideo moidums are also comparable to the Egyptian pyramids. So they very often compared with the Egyptian pyramids. And in fact, the architectural features of this Charaideo moidums, so they are banyan trees, and the trees used for the coffins and the bark manuscripts were planted, and water bodies were also created near these Charaideo moidums. And in fact, each moidum consists of an earthen mound, and this earthen mound is topped by a central shrine, and then an octagonal wall symbolizing the Thai universe, and a brick and stone vault with a grave pit. So I'll show you this Charaideo moidums and how they usually look. And in fact, another very interesting aspect about this Charaideo moidums belong to Thai Ahom dynasty from 13th century to the 19th century, who ruled different parts in Assam. So during Ahom's reign, Moidams were protected by a special officers called Moidam Pukans. So Moidam Pukans were the special officers who protected this Charaideo Moidams during the Ahom reign. And in fact, a guard group was always protecting this Charaideo Moidams, and they were known as Moidamia. Okay, so they are known as Moidamia. And apart from that, the moidum. So this is how this Charadio moidums usually look like. Okay. So above the moidums, you can also see a shrine that has been built. So these are graves. So these are graves of the royal family of Thai Ahom from 13th century to the 9th century. So moidums have grave goods such as they have food. So inside these graves, so they used to have food, horses, elephants, and sometimes even servants. So they believed in life after death. So because of that reason, so when anyone died from the royal family, so they were buried in these Charadio moidums, and along with their burial, so they used to keep important items such as food, elephants, horses, all those things, because they believed that these items required in afterlife. So, what are the burial practices followed by the Thai Ahom dynasty? So, that site reveals two distinct burial practices during pre-17th century. Okay, so bodies were embalmed and entombed and later cremated. Ashes were buried. Right. So, when these Chiradio moidums were discovered, so the earliest sketch of the ground plan of moidum was published in a journal of Asiatic Society of Bengal, right, for the first time. So they were published in Asiatic Society of Bengal in the year 1848 by Sergeant C. Clapham. Okay, so these are some details with respect to Chiraideo moidums. So next is Mahabodhi Temple Complex, Bodh Gaya, Bihar. So Mahabodhi Temple Complex. So Bodh Gaya is known for it is a place where Buddha has got enlightenment under Bodhi tree. Okay, so it is also a people tree. It is also called as Bodhi tree. Under this tree, Buddha has got enlightenment. And in fact, so this Mahabodhi temple complex is a four holy sites related to the life of Lord Buddha. So it is one of the four holiest sites related to the Lord Buddha because this is the place where Buddha has got enlightened. Buddha has become Bodhi at this Mahabodhi temple complex. And in fact, it is located in Bodh Gaya in central Bihar on the banks of Niranjana river. Okay, so on the banks of Niranjana river, central Bihar, so it is located. And apart from that, it is one of the few surviving examples of early brick structures in India because Mahabodhi temple complex is built with bricks and earliest brick structures surviving in India. And apart from that, so this was first temple that was built by Emperor Ashoka in 3rd century BCE, and present temple dates from 5th to 6th centuries. The present temple that we see in Mahabodhi temple complex. Okay, so it was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year 2002. So it is located in Mahabodh, so Bodh Gaya in the state of Bihar, and it was recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year 2002, and it is one of the earliest Buddhist temples built entirely in brick. Okay, now that's all in this lecture, and thank you so much. So, in the next lecture, we'll discuss about Arunachal Pradesh state budget and also some important aspects which are being highlighted in both budget and economic survey as well, because that is also important to understand state GDP and the contribution of different sectors, agriculture sector, industry, and service sectors, and what is the per capita income and what is the total expenditure, receipts, fiscal deficit of the state. So all those things we'll try to understand in our next lecture. And thanks so much.